Thanksgiving edition of Rob Schmitt Tonight. Let's check it out. And welcome to Rob Schmitt Tonight, 7 o'clock here on the East Coast. I think most people by this point have probably already had the turkey. It's usually an early night, right? 3, 4 o'clock. Everything's done and you just eat early on Thanksgiving. But we at Newsmax want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving either way. We are incredibly thankful to all our viewers. Appreciate you this holiday season. The president this week hosting the annual turkey pardon at the White House. Turkeys named Gobble and Waddle. They're very pretty, by the way. Those are boutique turkeys. Receiving the pardon this year from the president. You can see here Trump pardoning Gobble in this video, while Waddle was actually inside the press briefing room just steps away. Trump also joking that former President Joe Biden's turkey pardons last year of Peach and Blossom are now null and void because Joe Biden used the auto pen. Take a look.
A man named Sleepy Joe Biden, he used an auto pen last year for the turkey's pardon, as are the pardons of about every other person that was pardoned other than Where's Hunter. But they're hereby null and void. The turkeys known as Peach and Blossom last year, and I am officially pardoning them, and they will not be served for Thanksgiving dinner.
So he had to pardon 4 to make up for Joe Biden's pardon from last year. All right, we've got a special Thanksgiving edition of the show tonight with some of our favorite segments and guests. Check it out. In recent years, part of Minneapolis has become almost unrecognizable. A surge of Somalian refugees has formed what many now call Little Mogadishu, the product of decades of overzealous legal immigration into our country and taking in way too many refugees. Bipartisan globalists running this country, rapidly changing our demographics for their own benefit. Some estimates claim that 100,000 Somalians now live in Minnesota. 100,000. Most of them live in Minneapolis, thriving off government freebies. Most claim to be refugees. Around 40% of these people refuse to work at all, living off government freebies, which of course are plentiful in blue states, and are exactly why Somalians are a critical voter base for Minneapolis's Democrat Party, as you see the mayor of Minneapolis dancing for them in one of many viral videos. Because as we know, Democrats love anyone who is on the dole. That's a very easy group of people to control. You can give them free things with someone else's money and they'll vote for you in perpetuity. Minnesota Somalis contribute very little to this country and bring little benefit to this country. Virtually no assimilation to our culture whatsoever. They have walled themselves off in Little Mogadishu. It's their neighborhood now. Don't come in. We're not going to come out. That's the way it works. This year, Somalian Omar Fateh tried to primary the sitting mayor, the dancing guy you just saw, Jacob Fry. Here's what his rallies sounded like during that primary campaign.
Somalia, Hiran State.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Aad iyo aad aan ugu faraxsanahay caawa in xafladan.
Our tolerance of different cultures in this country exploited to the absolute max. Democrats convinced Americans we must import the entire world and demand nothing of them when they arrive. That's the ultimate virtue from the left. Not because Democrats care about these people, of course, but because they can use them for power. Governor Tim Walz has supported endless freebie programs for Somalians, free health care, tuition-free college. They'll give away endless amounts of your money to secure their own political future. That's one thing you can count on from any politician. And then they'll call you racist if you complain about it. This next story should be a wake-up call to all Americans, however. Over the weekend, the president calling Minnesota a hub of fraudulent activity and ending protected status for Somalis living in Minnesota after a new study by independent journalist Chris Rufo exposed a spectacular Somali fraud ring stealing millions and tens of millions of dollars from Medicaid and sending that money back to the motherland to support their friends, their families, or to just outright fund terrorism in a very dangerous Islamic country. The money stolen was designated to help the autistic children in the state of Minnesota, where federal funding had to increase from $3 million to nearly $400 million in just 5 years, in large part because of this scam. Hundreds of millions of dollars. The number of autism providers in Minnesota went from 41 to 326, in large part because of this scam. Claims that 1 in 16 Somalian 4-year-olds had been diagnosed with autism, a rate that would have been more than triple the average. This was a seriously complex scam involving a lot of people. It's despicable. These are people that came here as refugees and then figure out how to scam the system even further. A lot of them lied to get into the country, lied about who they had married just to get in. They get here and they start stealing from us and sending it back home. The president responding, get the hell out. Ilhan Omar responding to Trump today.
Somalis are not terrorizing this nation. We are helping it thrive. Somalis have always seen themselves as a fabric of this nation. Not only are we not going anywhere, we are not going to allow anybody to make us feel less Minnesotan or less American.
Okay. Yes, non-English speaking Somalians on welfare are the fabric of American society. How have we survived so long without them, I wonder? And we must accept widespread gang-like fraud, which is rampant inside this community. We must accept that as a part of their enormous contribution to the American life and the American way. Sure. Rufo's report finding an estimated 40% of households in Somalia get money from abroad. In 2023 alone, the Somali diaspora, he reports, sent back $1.7 billion. More than the Somalian government's budget for that year is sent back from Somalians that leave, go into either Europe or the United States, claim refugee status, and then just start taking in all the goodies. A huge chunk of that money from Minneapolis, of course. The Somali autism scam was clever enough to dupe the mainstream media. Last year, PBS reporting on the alarming escalation in Somali autism. They had no idea what to do with that story. Add to their list of fake news articles, and I'm sure nobody wanted to investigate it because how dare you ever question something like Somalian autism. Rufo reporting some of the tens of millions stolen ended up being in the hands of radical Islamic terror groups in Somalia, including al-Shabaab. The audacity of that, to come here to claim asylum, come here as a refugee, and then funnel money back to the people that have destroyed your homeland, to the terrorists that have destroyed your homeland. But is it really that surprising? From the outside looking in, the United States looks like a gigantic pile of money that is controlled by idiots, and that's largely what the United States is. Here's Democrat Jacob Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, signing an ordinance to allow the Muslim call of prayer to be broadcast at any time of day in this neighborhood in Minneapolis, a pasty white leftist who will pander to anybody to stay in power, who'll make his own constituents listen to the call to prayer 5 times a day just so he can stay in power. The autism scandal, not the first concocted by Minneapolis Somalians. These gangs swiped $250 million in COVID funding as well through a nonprofit called Feed Our Future, a story that was covered by CNN like this.
Nearly $250 million in federal tax dollars was supposed to go to feeding children in need. Instead, dozens of people involved in the scheme stole the money, buying houses, luxury cars, and a suburban bar and restaurant, according to a federal indictment.
Yeah, that's what happens when you just bring an endless amount of refugees into a country. You get stories like that. When local officials became suspicious of the rapid expansion of that nonprofit in 2020, the group filed a lawsuit and called the investigation, of course, racist. They called it an attack on a nonprofit that caters to foreign nationals. David Gaither is a former Minnesota state senator who has been calling attention to this issue for a very long time, for years now. And sir, good to have you on the show. What is the scale of this scandal? What's your opening line when you talk about this to people?
Well, thanks for having me on, Rob.
Yeah.
My opening line is that Minnesotans are caring and compassionate people, but our care and compassion has limits. especially when it's fraudulent. And this is an upsetting matter for, I think, all Minnesotans. More importantly, those that are paying attention to this realize that they didn't have to do this. People came into our country willingly. We welcomed them in. We offered them all services we could provide them, and that soft underbelly of political pressure and administration gave exposure to people who were willingly taking money from those that really needed it. This is so un-Minnesotan.
Yeah, it's disgusting. You've said that the largest funder of the Somali terror group Al-Shabaab is the Minnesota taxpayer. Is that right?
It's my opinion. I believe it to be true.
Can you explain that? I mean, that is the amount of money that has been ripped from the coffers of that state and sent to Somalia. It's that much money?
I don't want to say it's all the money that's been fraudulent has gone to Somalia. That's not a fair characterization. What is a fair characterization is that the money that leaves here from Minnesota, whether it's through wire transfer or through Western Union or in cash at the Metropolitan Airport, sewn into luggage or clothing, ends up in Somalia and in the control of an area by Al-Shabaab or Al-Qaeda, for that matter. And the people who control that area have to have tribute. They are taking a cut of all the money that comes in there. How much of a cut is probably difficult for most forensic accountants, and I'm not one, to tell you how much it is, but it is distributed across a broad array of people who are in the enforcement and terrorism game.
Is it? I mean, the president wants to see deportations. He wants to end the temporary protected status. He says it's time that these people need to go home. You've talked about how they're not acclimating to society. They're not assimilating. Do you agree with that decision from the president?
It's his right. It's the law. He can do that. He's doing exactly what he's authorized to do by the statute. Yeah. And the affected people here in Minnesota, the Somalis, are about 450 to 500 that would be covered under that provision. That said, there's about 700 nationally that covered that by that provision as well, and he's got the authority to do that.
All right, David Gaither, former Minnesota State Senator. Thank you for your attention to the story. We appreciate it.
Welcome, Rob. Thank you.
All right, Todd Lyons is the ICE director and joins us now. Sir, good to have you back on. The president has called to end the temporary protected status of Somalians living in the state of Minnesota. The secretary, Noam, has to actually do that, officially begin that process and handle that job. But when that does happen, is ICE going to be going into what's called Little Mogadishu there on the southeast side of Minneapolis?
Hey, Rob. Good seeing you again. Thanks for having me. Yeah, so, ICE, obviously, we enforce the laws the way they're written, right? And so if someone's temporary protective status is lifted, which it's happened many a times to different various countries and nationalities, but we're ready to take action, and that's what we do, right? When someone's temporary protective status is lifted, they are now illegal aliens. They're here in the country illegally, and we will go ahead and remove those criminal elements out of our neighborhoods. What
was your reaction when you saw the details of the fraud inside of this community and just surreal what we've brought into our country?
One thing for me, Rob, is the fact that when you think about what TPS is actually created for, right? What the asylum process is created for. When you think about how many people take advantage of that, when there are so many individuals that want to come to the United States for a better life, yet there's so many people that criminally come here and use fraud or other fraudulent means to enjoy the American dream, it takes away from those individuals that really want to be here lawfully, right? So we do have to remove those elements out of here. And if temporary protective status is lifted for the Somali community, whether it's Minneapolis, could be Philadelphia, could be anywhere, we're going to go ahead and remove those elements out of our country, because at that point, especially the game here under false pretenses, that's what ICE does as a law enforcement mission. We have to ensure that we remove those people from our communities.
Yeah. Joseph Edlow from USCIS here discussing an investigation that they had into Minneapolis and St. Paul levels of fraud in those two twin cities. Take a listen.
Our officers encountered blatant marriage fraud, visa overstays, people claiming to work at businesses that can't be found, forged documents, abuse of the H-1B visa system, abuse of the F-1 visas, and many other discrepancies. Over the course of the operation, our officers found indication of fraud, non-compliance, or public safety and national security concerns in nearly a little less than 50% of the cases interviewed.
If you run into people like that, is that pretty much a slam dunk? They're out of the country? How does it work?
No, for us, that is a slam dunk, right? Yeah. If we've already had and done our due diligence and we prove the fact that you came here under false pretenses, 100% we're going to remove you. And, you know, Joe made a great point. When you think of the national security threats of, you know, individuals that came here with fraud, they may have come here to enjoy the American dream, but time and time again, you know, I always say ICE was an organization born out of 9/11. They came, 9/11 terrorists came here under fraud pretense anyways, right? So you don't know who the people were letting in. We have to make sure we do our due diligence, go back, look at the ones we let under the last administration. And like, again, so many people have used fraud in fraudulent circumstances to obtain something that so many people want, to be here in the United States.
Yeah, this is going to sound like a clever question, but he said marriage fraud was one of the first things that he mentioned, which I've heard is rampant in the Somalian community. Is anybody immune from that? If there was a congresswoman or somebody that's very important that had committed that, are they immune from this?
No, Rob, nobody's immune from it. We have to look at every case, case by case. And if fraudulent means were gained or used to gain a benefit, then we have to take all our due diligence. We have to look at it criminally, administratively, and we have to take action on all those cases. No one's immune. Yeah, absolutely. It just makes you wonder. I want to just show this. You've had sex offender, an ICE sex offender arrest and removal operation in Los Angeles. 288 arrests of criminal aliens, among them these four right here, convicted of counts of lewd acts with a child under 14, among other charges, all still living in the United States. Talk about this operation as you guys get so much grief from the American public that are now completely against just basic, decent immigration enforcement. Talk about what you've just done here in Los Angeles. Well, Rob, to your point, this was an ICE-led operation. And just think about it. We arrested 288. 42 of those were convicted sex offenders, right, who had done time up to 32 years that should have went back to the home country, but they've let them back in the community. Just imagine if LAPD or, you know, California Highway Patrol wanted to work with us. Think of how many other criminal sex offenders we could have found. But I would love to argue with anybody that says we shouldn't be out there arresting sex offenders. These are the people that majority of the American people voted for to get out of our neighborhoods. And this is what ICE does every day. Every day we're arresting people just like this. Sex offenders and child sex predators that are in our communities. We just got 288 of them. I hope we're going to get more. But this is what ICE does every day.
It's amazing stuff. The ICE Director, Todd Lyons. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.
At Cabinets to Go, quality cabinets, countertops, and accessories all add up to big savings during our stackable savings sale. Why settle for one upgrade when you can have them all? Choose from thousands of the latest designer styles and color combinations and watch as your dream kitchen comes to life with a free 3D design. Hurry, the stackable savings sale won't last long. Visit cabinetstogo.com and request your free 3D design today. Cabinets to Go, designed to wow.
A peace plan for Gaza. For the plan to advance, Hamas must disarm. Instead,
tonight, terrifying images emerging from Gaza. Videos show Hamas-linked gunmen carrying out a public execution as they return to the streets.
Hamas on a rampage, executing Palestinians. Bloody crackdown, spreading terror. For freedom, not terror, Hamas must go.
Total Beats Ultimate Heart Health is the newest innovation from America's best-selling Beats brand. Ultimate Heart Health contains a key ingredient clinically shown to deliver 2 times better blood pressure support, plus CoQ10 for even better heart health. Find Total Beats Ultimate Heart Health at Walmart today.
What is this?
My lawyer recommended I take out a bigger life insurance policy on you. You know, in case you should die and can't pay the alimony and legal fees.
Why don't you have them frozen? Then you can use them to keep your drinks cold, too. And who's supposed to pay for this policy?
You are, and please try and be on time with the premiums.
Boy, my shallow, empty lifestyle is looking pretty good right about now.
All right, so let's be honest. A lot of network TV shows are a bit bland, right? A little bit overly inclusive in some ways. 2.5 Men was quite bold. It was always one of my favorites. Charlie Sheen was a big reason why. Toward the end of his run on that show, Sheen commanded $2 million an episode. Sheen's career has been massive. Just a few of my favorites: Platoon, Wall Street, Major League, Ricky Vaughn, and a hilarious cameo in Ferris Bueller's Day Off that I think we all remember. A phrase I'll borrow from RFK Jr. Sheen, though, has had a very colorful personal life off screen, much of it revealed in this new New York Times bestseller, The Book of Sheen, which is out now. And we have Charlie Sheen here on the set. This is not something we do very often, is just have big movie stars hanging out here on the set. So it's a special thing for us, and it's really cool to meet you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks for shaking it up a little bit today.
Why not? It's a Friday. Why not? You know? I want to start. We're going to get to the book. We're going to talk a lot about your life, the book, everything like that. I want to start just with the big story of the week, though, which is the Kimmel firing. Or not the firing, but they pulled him off the air. It likely is going to move in that direction. If you read the Hollywood Reporter, it looks like it's moving that way. You've done his show. I mean, we have a clip of you even kissing Jimmy Kimmel at one point.
Wow.
Which is pretty funny. I think we can roll that here if we could. Yeah, there you go. Boom. Right there back in 2011. What's your reaction to this? How do you see this moment here?
He wasn't expecting that.
No.
That kiss.
I
think he was expecting the cheek. I was out of my mind when that happened. I crashed that Mark Cuban's appearance that day.
Yeah.
And I told Mark, I'm gonna jump out there.
And you just showed up.
I just showed up, and gave him a kiss. Wow,
that's a funny clip, right?
Yeah. You know, it's tough because you want to support freedom of speech,
right?
You know, and like that. And then, Benny Johnson was talking about it's not cancel culture, it's consequence culture. So,
it's interesting because, and I know you don't want to get too political, I can totally appreciate that, but if you read this Hollywood Reporter piece on it, it kind of indicates that Iger and these big guys over at Disney were just trying to get him to back off a little bit, cool it, because the comment that he made was pretty bad. I mean, it was utterly ridiculous. It was very offensive, I think, too, to Charlie Kirk, if no one else. And I guess Kimmel just flew off the handle, said, I'm not doing any of that. He wanted to double down on it. That, to me, takes it to a different place. I was kind of with that for a second. You know, it's freedom of speech. You should be able to say what you want. Now it's like the consequences. I mean, you're representing ABC. You're working for this big multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
Does that change your mind at all on what happened?
I've been on the receiving end.
You have been.
Of the consequences of doubling down.
Yeah.
And they will they will give you the broom, you know.
Yeah, they will.
But again, it's such a touchy thing.
It's a
right
tough
now.
one. I understand. And you know what? The thing that I like about you is that you don't get political. I don't think actors should. You know, I kind of go in that direction.
Well,
try not to get too much into these things.
Because what do we really know about it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And you're trying to. You have an audience that's the whole country, not just half of it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And I think we all took a valuable lesson from the last election when Hollywood was rolled out on that stage and everybody was like, you have no idea, you can't speak to the issues that I have to survive, or deal with every day.
Exactly. And the Ricky Gervais moment from the Golden Globes, remember that when he went up there? That was brilliant.
Brilliant, yeah.
Let's talk about you.
Sure.
Your ex-wife, Denise Richards, has described you as sometimes kind of shy. So, which is interesting for a Hollywood star. But this is a tell-all book. Yeah. And I mean, this gets into the depths of the depravity that was Charlie Sheen there for quite a while.
Sure.
Is it therapeutic for you to just put all this out there in front of the whole world? Why do this? I can't imagine you need the cash.
It wasn't about that.
Right. Why write the book?
It's a great question. It's become more therapeutic now that it's out than it was in the process of actually creating it, or making the decisions to commit, all of those stories to the page and just say, here it is, because I think, one of the things I was hoping to achieve with it was that kind of take the past and just kind of slide it behind me and tell people, look, if you're curious about anything, you can read it, you can watch it, you can listen to it.
Yeah.
You got three choices, and just move forward. But the stuff that I do get into in there that's very personal. I always knew what it felt like kept in here. I had no experience with it just being out there, so that's those were dice I was willing to roll.
You just wanted to try something.
Yeah.
You just wanted to try something.
And every story that I wrote about what's going to happen now that it's out isn't coming true. Didn't come true. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
John Cryer, your co-star, 2.5 Men, great actor, says you feel like you didn't deserve your success. And that's something he made that assessment. You agreed with that assessment.
Yeah.
Is that like some kind of imposter syndrome? Because I mean, when I look at you, you've never done a bad performance.
Oh.
I mean, everything you did was good. I would understand if you had made bad movies and kept getting jobs because you were Martin Sheen's son. I would kind of get it.
Right.
But you did a good job.
Thank you. But it's,
so what is that? What's that feeling for you?
I don't think it's so much connected to the actual work. It's more connected to the journey getting there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that it wasn't difficult, but it happened so fast. You know, I went from kind of like I talk about in the book, you know, girls see me in the supermarket and thought I worked there, you know, and then Ferris Bueller and then Platoon and then all this stuff. So it was kind of like I just wanted a little more time to settle into this party. Yeah. And, you know, I blinked and I suddenly was the party.
You were there.
Yeah.
You got there quick.
I did. Yeah. And even though I'd watched Emilio go through it and Dad go through it for years, it's never the same. It's, you know, and they can say, hey, look out for this pitfall, look out for this thing, whatever. Yeah. But until you're actually, you know, on that battlefield in those trenches, it's a whole different reality, you know.
In the darkest times, which a lot of it's in this book, you know, your toughest moments, you got a great family, you got a great father.
Yeah.
How did you pull out of those moments? What did you reach for? I can't imagine. I've never been on serious drugs like that.
Sure.
But you read about how hard it is to get out, and it's just hell. And I mean, you were in it in so many different ways.
Sure.
What'd you do? How'd you get out?
I just started paying attention to my body. And I also started paying attention to the relationships that were really starting to just unravel. And I knew if I didn't make some serious changes that this thing was going to stop working. And if that didn't happen, then all these people, the people I care about the most, were at some point and probably justifiably going to have to say,
cut bait.
You're on your own. Yeah. So it was a combination of that, you know, and also just finally deciding that, you know, wow, you know, I've kind of done everything else on my own, right?
Yeah, right.
Just sometimes with the sheer willpower, you know. I think I'm going to apply that same mindset to this other thing. Yeah. And did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think most of the people watching this show would like to see you doing more work and
Thank you.
And doing band. I'd love to see you make some new movies. You still look good. I mean, you've got it together. You're sober.
Oh, right.
How's that going?
I'm reading material now.
Yeah.
I don't have my next job. I haven't committed to anything, but I'm actually reading stuff, the best material I've seen in 20 years.
Yeah.
And that's exciting.
Yeah.
I can feel that thing again, where there's going to be a challenge on the horizon, and it's like the scripts and the films that I think turned out the best were the ones that I just wasn't really comfortable agreeing to. I knew that I was probably in over my head.
Yeah.
However, you know, it was a gamble worth taking. You know? Yeah.
It's. I mean, you know, it was. I mean, you've had a great career, and I mean, you've tested it, I think, as much as you possibly can, right?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, for sure. But I think it's time just to get back to just, you know, being responsible in the workplace. And it's just the math is simple.
Yeah.
You know, you shake somebody's hand and say, yes, I agreed to do this and to do it well, and just kind of honor that.
Well, you see,
it's not complicated, right? No.
And you seem like you're in a good place now, and I'd love to see that.
Thank you.
I want to selfishly just mention something. I have to ask, how on earth did I end up in this book? I'm going to list some names of people I know well and a few I do not, even though we've never met. Their presence on my television throughout the entire process created a different type of support to get me through a calendar year of sleepless nights. The Wrens, Todd C., Jim Day, the lovely Jules S., a solid dude named Greg.
Boom.
And 2 awesome Robs, and in the parenthesis, let's check it out.
Yeah. I
explain.
Well, I knew there'd be no confusion with the let's check it out. It's such a badass way to kick off your show every night. Let's check it out. You know, it's not let's get after it. That feels aggressive and weird. That's just like, hey, I knew I couldn't write this book feeling how I felt during the first Trump administration, right? And so I decided that I was going to go back to doing my own research, something I have relied on my entire life, and just when I'm curious about something, I do my own research. And I started looking at it like if I was on a jury, and I left the courtroom every time the defense presented a new witness or cross-examined someone or presented new evidence, right? And I left the jury every time and came back and then thought I still had a right to weigh in on a verdict, right? So I couldn't, because I wouldn't have the full story of that case, right? So I knew it was time to change the channel. And I changed the channel, and I found you guys. And the nights I did go to bed, which was every night, I went to bed in a much better mood, feeling a lot better about the state of things. That's how that wound up in there. No,
that's wild.
So thank you.
Thank you. No. If you would have told me when I was a kid watching Wall Street, which I loved, watching Major League, that someday Charlie Sheen was going to watch my show, I would have never believed it.
And here we are.
And here we are.
And here we are. Amazing.
Good to see you.
Yeah, likewise.
Thank you so much for coming up.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it. Charlie Sheen.
A new president is sworn in. America's greatness is restored. Millions of Americans are tuning in to Newsmax. Even President Trump says Newsmax is terrific. Watch Newsmax or download our free app on your TV or phone today.
Hi there, I'm Dean Heskin, President and CEO of Swiss America. Do you know which investment has outperformed almost every other asset class since the beginning of last year? And that Goldman Sachs research is now forecasting to reach further heights. That's right, it's gold. Central banks around the world continue to buy gold at record levels due to economic turmoil, foreign conflicts, and a weakening U.S. economy plagued by debt. If you're concerned how to protect yourself as our financial system weakens, our team at Swiss America has a solution. For over 40 years, we've helped people just like you purchase precious metals for home delivery and for your IRAs. Don't miss out before this next big price jump. Call or text Swiss America at the number on your screen to receive your free portfolio review and a copy of The Timeless Truth About Gold and Silver. Let us show you how easy it is to safeguard your money. Call or text Swiss America today.
Precise designs, subtle curves, curated upgrades, elevated design for thoughtful living. Thuma.
'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the barn, treats were all wrapped up, heading out from the farm. Harry and David exclaimed as they drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all." And to all a good bite.
It's fun for me to win on the course, but it's even more fun to win on Deal Dash.
Lori won $2,000 Tiffany earrings for just $1, and Joseph won an iPad for just $6. There's millions of fast auctions, so try today at DealDash.com for $50 of free credit and your first win guaranteed.
It's the Blue Compass RV annual Blue Tag clearance. Save over 40% on select new RVs during our largest sale of the year. Plus, every RV comes with a 1-year VIP membership to RV Complete, a $5,000 value. Visit us online or in store today.
What does Under Outfit feel like? So comfortable and soft, it's like we designed our bras to be forgotten. Try them at home for 180 days, also available at Nordstrom.com. Under Outfit, engineered for happiness.
This country has never been so divided. Are you a licorice lover or hater? We at Licorice.com have 50-plus gourmet flavors that you'll flip out over. Get some for yourself or a licorice lover in your life. Licorice lovers unite at Licorice.com.
Nice Oakleys, Stipe. Where'd you get them?
GovX.com.
Man, I gotta get me one of those. Where'd you get it?
GovX.com.
Hey, Stipe, nice boots. Where'd you get those?
GovX.com. Use it. Exclusive deals for first responders, military, and law enforcement only at GovX.com.
Hey, I'm Daniel, one of the founders of Ridge. My dad and I realized that most wallets are falling apart, stuffed to the max, and barely fit in your back pocket. So we set out to create something better. Ridge is built to last a lifetime and is the perfect balance of modern style and durability. Find yours at ridge.com.
All right, welcome back. As we sometimes do, let's get a little bizarre on a Friday night. Let's talk about this 3-Eye Atlas, this mysterious interstellar object that's currently zipping through our solar system. It's fascinating. I love this stuff. NASA claims it's just a comet. Others think it could be some kind of a vessel. Moving at 137,000 miles per hour, 3.5 miles wide. 6 days before Christmas this year, 3-Eye Atlas will reach the closest distance to Earth as it buzzes through our region, and that'll be about 165 million kilometers away still, but that's rather close when you think about the scope and scale of the universe. As 3-Eye Atlas passed close to the sun, it did not disintegrate. Scientists say it's been showing a bright ion tail, and it's grown dramatically longer and more structured, that tail. We've heard it's actually changed trajectory a few times, 3-Eye Atlas, changing the direction that it's moving in. That would be somewhat bizarre for a comet. And an observatory has picked up a frequency from it by a Meerkat radio telescope in South Africa, which I'm not sure what to make of that. We're going to ask Harvard professor Avi Loeb, who's been investigating and questioning 3-Eye Atlas since it entered our solar system. And, sir, it's good to have you back on. What do you believe that this could be?
Well, thanks for having me. Sure. It's definitely an object of a type that we've never seen before because it has a lot of anomalies, and we are trying to figure it out. And the best way to make progress is getting more data on it, and as it gets closer to Earth on December 19th. Now that it passed closest to the sun, what we see are multiple jets coming out of it, some in the direction of the sun and others opposite to that. And they go out to a few million kilometers, very far out. There seem to be a lot of mass carried by these jets, and the question is, are they originating from pockets of ice on the surface of a natural object, or maybe they represent some thrusters on a technological object? And we should be able to figure it out by the speed of those jets that could be measured with telescopes on the ground or in space that we have.
Is it, I mean, when it gets, in a month, when it's as close as it's going to get, is that going to be relatively close enough for you guys to get a better look at it, like a serious look at this thing?
Definitely. There are hundreds of telescopes around the globe that can look at it and did look at it in previous months. And moreover, we have the Webb telescope and the Hubble telescope. And finally, it will come close to Jupiter, where we have a spacecraft called Juno that can observe it before it will go out of the region, the inner solar system. So we have plenty of opportunities. And like in any blind date, it's best to keep your eyes on the partner on the other side before you have any opinion.
So we have something near Jupiter. I mean, when did we send that out? That's a long way away. That's unbelievable. Do you ever see things change course as they move through? I mean, when something changes course, that feels to me like it's being controlled.
No, there is an additional force acting on it in addition to gravity. It could be as a result of just the evaporation of ices on the surface as a result of sunlight hitting them. But it could also be the result of some engine, some propulsion. And the way to figure it out is to see how much mass is being lost, what is the speed by which that mass is leaving the object. And we can figure this out with upcoming data. There will also be a high-resolution image that was taken already on October 2nd by the high-rise camera on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. And because of the government shutdown, it was not released as of yet, but we hope within a few days it will come out.
10 seconds left. I mentioned the radio signal, something from South Africa. What did that mean? Does that...
Well, it's just a detection of some molecules that exist around it, containing oxygen and hydrogen, nothing significant.
Nothing significant, but you're hoping to learn more, and you've got about a month before she comes as close as she's going to get to Earth. I love this stuff, and Professor Avi Loeb, it's good to see you, Doctor. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I'll be glad to give you an update.
We will be asking for that in about 5 weeks. Thank you, sir. Good to see you.
Newsmax family, it's George Santos here, and this Thanksgiving, I am so thankful for the second chance that our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, along with President Trump, gave me a shot at a new life, a new beginning, and really finishing to write my story and change that ending. So I'm very thankful this Thanksgiving for the opportunity, and always great to be here with you guys on Newsmax.
I'm Michael Savage, and I was conservative before conservative was cool. Do you realize how crazy the liberals in this country have become? I do. You want to get me started today? I'll get started. Watch Michael Savage and the Savage Nation every Sunday night.
Doctors' Preferred Liver Defense is doctor-developed to support your natural detox function with clinically validated, triple-tested key ingredients to energize and renew your liver. Find Liver Defense in the supplement aisle at Walmart. Doctors Preferred. Better science, better results.
PCmatic's Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals are going on now. For a limited time, when you buy PCmatic Antivirus, you get PCmatic VPN for free. Protect up to 5 devices with our easy-to-use American-made security. You get award-winning antivirus, lightning-fast VPN for total privacy, plus limited US-based phone support. Get industry-leading protection that's built by Americans to protect America. Don't wait. Visit PCmatic.com now before it's too late.
As we mark 250 years of America, Wounded Warrior Project honors those who serve. They've given us their commitment and sacrifice. We're here to give them a brighter future. Our programs and services help warriors access VA benefits, improve mental and physical health, and thrive for a lifetime. They've given us their best. Join us in supporting them through the next 250 years of strength and resilience. Visit woundedwarriorproject.org/USA250.
A peace plan for Gaza. For the plan to advance, Hamas must disarm. Instead,
Tonight, terrifying images emerging from Gaza. Videos show Hamas-linked gunmen carrying out a public execution as they return to the streets.
Hamas on a rampage, executing Palestinians, bloody crackdown, spreading terror. For freedom, not terror, Hamas must go.
Guys, stop what you're doing and head over to Fabletics, because right now everything is 80% off. That's right, everything, including their all-new Dawn pant, the pants that feel and look better than jeans. The lightweight, do-it-all one short and jogger. The training, performance tech fundamental short, lined, unlined, and inseam options. Shirts, tees, polos, 80% off. Shorts, pants, joggers, 80% off. Gym, office, golf, 80% off. Whatever you need, Fabletics has it. Get 80% off everything right now when you sign up as a new VIP, only at Fabletics.com.
There are only a few men I'd trust with my life. 2 of them built this wallet. I've known the guys behind Proof for nearly 20 years, and we've been through hell and back together. When they told me they were building the wallet, I just said, bill me now, I'm in. This isn't some fashion piece. This isn't just some trend. These wallets are a direct reflection of the kind of men who built it. It's built to last, built to function, and designed to carry everything you need and more. If anything happens to it, they'll take care of it. No questions, no fine print. If you knew the guys who created this wallet, you wouldn't carry anything else. Go check them out, because they built this thing right.
TrueWork is the most technical workwear in the world. Our innovative layering system is engineered for superior performance, especially in the most extreme conditions. A wicking base keeps you dry and comfortable. A breathable insulated mid-layer keeps you warm and mobile. And an impenetrable shell is a force field against wind, rain, and snow. TrueWork gives you the protection and flexibility you need to conquer the cold and be your best when the weather brings its worst.
We got to find out what happened here for the victims, especially the seniors that died out here. It's wrong. I mean, this fire should have been able to be prevented. They should have been able to help each of these families so their homes didn't burn down.
It happened because of gross incompetence, gross negligence on the part of elected officials at the state and the local level. And the people here in Palisades, they've been abandoned.
So that was last week on this show. 2 senators blasting Gavin Newsom's wildfire response, one of Gavin's biggest political liabilities as he gears up for a very obvious presidential run. Newsom's team fired us a quick message after that one requesting we clear up misinformation from the senators and wrote, if these 2 senators truly cared about helping people get back on their feet, they would be lobbying Congress to immediately pass a disaster aid bill, not flying across the country to kick fire survivors while they are down, which is the most ridiculous illustration of what they were there to do, typical politics. The senators responded to that today, calling Newsom's response a pathetic attempt to blame others for his miserable failures, saying he should do what we did, go to the Palisades, spend hours listening to the victims of that fire. Jamie Kennedy is an actor and a comedian. He's an LA guy, lives in West Hollywood, and joins us tonight here on the set. You went through this like so many did. Those fires were terrifying. They were largely preventable, and the response has been horrific. What's your response to how Newsom responded?
Okay, first of all, it's a California issue, okay?
Yeah.
We have fires. There's something actually called a fire season.
Yeah.
Okay, the next thing is insurance companies, a lot of them pulled out, okay? So a lot of people were running raw, okay? They didn't have that.
Right.
The fires happen, okay? High winds, horrific amalgamation of events, okay?
Yeah.
What happens? Well, the reservoirs are empty, okay? Fire hydrants weren't working in certain places. The mayor was in Uganda, okay? This spread insane quicker than I've ever seen. I've lived there for 35 years. And then Newsom didn't even make a statement for a couple of days. And then the reservoirs were empty for something because we're saving the smelt.
Yeah.
And then when they said hydrants weren't working, he started doing the Newsom thing. He's like, well, that's a local issue.
Everywhere.
That's her, that's him, that's them.
Right.
And he starts doing the dance. The bottom line is, it was insane.
He's running the state.
7 places were affected. And you can't tell me an ember, plus arsonist, you can't tell me an ember from the Palisades floats all the way over to Altadena.
Yeah.
Okay, Hollywood proper was burning.
Yeah.
And so the biggest issue is, the biggest thing is LAFD saved us with the air support.
And real quick, and they did. And real quick, Newsom says the reason that the recovery has been this slow is solely because Republicans are not allowing aid to flow to California for personal reasons. Does he believe anybody actually thinks that's the reason? You got people that are sitting here for 9-10 months and they can't even get a frickin' permit to start rebuilding their house. Meanwhile, they're paying taxes on that property. I can't imagine the fury.
Bro, I have to tell you, I have been to Beirut. Okay, I've done shows in Beirut, and when you drive through the Palisades, it looks war-torn.
Yeah.
It looks like
It's
parts of
unbelievable.
Beirut. It's so sad. Iconic places, reel in. It's been there since 1972, family-owned. Just tons of places are gone. The Palisades, you can see through.
Yeah.
It's beyond sad. It's horrific, and it stinks of corruption.
It's Jamie Kennedy. Thanks
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Appreciate you.
Good to see you.
When you want gifts to express a lifetime of love, choose hand-picked holiday treasures from Harry and David. Iconically American, crafted with joy and made to share for generations.
There's a lot of times I feel stuck.
I was rejected 242 times.
All of those dark moments are so common. But let me just tell you a secret. You have an advantage. Masterclass gives you real skills to move your career forward. Think job interviews.
Giving feedback.
If you're looking for a promotion.
How to negotiate a raise. How to AI prompt.
You gotta keep getting better. You can do it. Learn from the best at masterclass.com.
Precise designs, subtle curves, curated upgrades, elevated design for thoughtful living. Thuma.
At GovX.com, this is what service looks like. And this, because service wears many uniforms. If you or your spouse served, military, first responders, or government, you've earned more than respect. At GovX.com, unlock special savings on the brands you trust, because your service should be rewarded every day. Join GovX.com for free in time for holiday shopping and find thousands of exclusive discounts. GovX.com, savings for those who serve.
Hey guys, now that the country's getting back on the right track, how about getting yourself on the right track too? How about finally trying new Nugenix Total T2? You'll feel like a new man.
I feel like I have the secret weapon against Father Time.
Get your complimentary bottle by texting BEAST to to 369-369. After 40, it's harder to stay in shape, and trying harder doesn't help. That's because as testosterone levels decline, we lose energy. It's harder to stay strong and focused. But Nugenix Total T2 is drug-free with a key ingredient, Tesnor, shown in clinical studies to significantly increase testosterone levels. It will help you feel stronger, leaner, with more energy and drive. T2 is the next generation testosterone booster that sends nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
Nugenix has relit that fire.
Stuff works.
Oh, and our factory is already in America. New T2 is not available in stores or on Amazon. Try before you buy by texting BEAST to 369-369. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X absolutely free.
The Ridge wallet is iconic at this point, but I'm just going to speak facts here. It's slim, it's RFID blocking, it's awesome, it's comfortable, I love it. I carry it every day. And then every wallet at Ridge.com has like an unlimited lifetime warranty, so you don't have to worry about it falling apart. Check it out at Ridge.com.
It's the Stackable Savings Sale at Cabinets to Go. Discover quality cabinets, countertops, accessories, and more. Plus, watch as your dream kitchen comes to life with a free 3D design. Don't wait, the Stackable Savings Sale ends soon. Cabinets to Go, designed to wow.
Welcome back. Time now for news from the left. Accusations that the Trump White House is building a cocoon of conservative media around itself from Big Red and the irrelevant former talking head Katie Couric. Take a listen to this.
More and more of the questions in there are by sycophants, are by people who are not asking about news that the American people cares about. To ask these questions that Mary Bruce fortunately asked yesterday, there are fewer of them. That's a huge, huge problem because it's becoming more of a Kremlin-esque press corps.
Kremlin-esque press corps, they say. And I've heard the questions from, OAN and Right Side and things like that. We've heard them when you listen to the press briefings. But let's just take a listen, since it's such a Kremlin-esque press corps now. Let's take a listen to the other side of it, which, by the way, if we're talking about previous administrations, yeah, they might not have had sycophantic questions, but they also never had the other side of those questions. This kind of balances it out, in my opinion, because here's the Soviet-style state-run media giving Trump nothing but softballs. Take a listen.
Mr. President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
I'm not obnoxious, but I'm trying to ask you, what about your plans for really Memphis?
Obnoxious.
I'm not obnoxious, but I am asking, what are your plans for Memphis?
Can you explain to Americans why it's appropriate to welcome white Afrikaners here when other refugees like Afghans, Venezuelans, Haitians have all had their protective status revoked? Mr. President, the Pentagon announced that it would be accepting a Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One. Perhaps
what are you talking about?
Just a little selection there of the dozens of very difficult and very obnoxious questions that he gets every single week. Mary Bruce, by the way, wants to go back to the days of Biden's note cards, I guess. She was one of the reporters that he was allowed to call on for questions and would submit her question beforehand so that Biden's staff could look up the answer for him. But now she's complaining. Next up, Bill Maher calling out Jimmy Kimmel's wife after she said that she's done with her Trump voting family. Take a listen.
She's lost relationships with relatives because she wrote them an email before the election with 10 reasons why they shouldn't vote for Trump. But I would never present it to someone as an ultimatum. Ultimatums don't make people rethink their politics. They make them rethink you. You know what would have been a better exercise? Write a top 10 list to yourself where you try to imagine 10 reasons why 77 million Americans didn't want to trust you with taking power.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You're going to slaughter everybody because they voted for Trump. You're going to get rid of your own family. It seems a bit ridiculous. And finally, the New York Times selling another illegal criminal sob story with a headline, 2 men, 1 identity. They both paid the price, about an illegal that stole an identity for himself. Romeo Perez Bravo, deported to Guatemala 3 times, always kept coming back. And in the summer of 2022, he collides with a granddad and his 9-year-old, kills the grandfather. And the sob story from the New York Times is that you should feel sorry for the illegal that kept coming back and stealing an identity and committing crimes.
You know Rob Finnerty. He's smart, bold, and stands strong for your values. Rob is fighting for you. Watch Finnerty weeknights only on Newsmax.
They are trying to shut down this legal loophole to get 100 milligram generic Viagra or 20 milligram generic Cialis delivered to your door for just 87 cents in less than 2 minutes. Do this. First, scan the QR code to go to getfridayplans.com. Then, you select if you need generic Viagra or Cialis, the quantity you need, and the dosage. I'll pick 100 milligram, thank you very much, and then their system will see if you qualify. Give it a second to find the best deals, and boom. Look at that. 87 cents for each 100 milligram generic Viagra tablet. 20 milligram Cialis is the same price. The prescription and shipping are free. Scan the QR code to go to getfridayplans.com and see for yourself. Don't wait. Scan the QR code or go to getfridayplans.com now.
Hey, I'm Mike Hammond from Signal Relief. You know the holidays are meant to be about family, laughter, and taking things slow. But when you're in pain, it's hard to enjoy any of it. I know because my back has made life difficult for me. But that's why I love the Signal Relief patch. It helped me enjoy the holidays again. It helped me enjoy my family again. I've given this patch as a gift to friends, family, and even strangers in pain because I know it works. In a recent study, over 85% of people felt relief. It really doesn't matter where you hurt because the patch works, and it comes with a money-back guarantee. For a limited time, we're bringing back our largest discount ever, 50% off. So get a Signal Relief patch today. Trust me when I tell you, the patch works.
It's the Blue Compass RV annual Blue Tag clearance. Save over 40% on select new RVs during our largest sale of the year. Plus, every RV comes with a 1-year VIP membership to RV Complete, a $5,000 value. Visit us online or in store today.
For pain in multiple spots like here, here, or here, Salonpas patches stick firmly and remove comfortably once your pain is gone. Salonpas. It's good medicine.
What if getting older didn't mean living with joint discomfort, brain fog, or low energy? Qualia Senolytic is the only all-in-one clinically tested formula with 9 ingredients designed to help your body clear aging cells. Taken just 2 days a month, this regimen works at the cellular level to rejuvenate energy and support longevity, helping you stay active and energized. With Qualia Senolytic, life truly gets better with age. Start today at qualialife.com/TV.
There are only a few men I'd trust with my life. 2 of them built this wallet. I've known the guys behind Proof for nearly 20 years, and we've been through hell and back together. When they told me they were building the wallet, I just said, bill me now, I'm in. This isn't some fashion piece. This isn't just some trend. These wallets are a direct reflection of the kind of men who built it. It's built to last, built to function, and designed to carry everything you need and more. If anything happens to it, they'll take care of it. No questions, no fine print. If you knew the guys who created this wallet, you wouldn't carry anything else. Go check them out, because they built this thing right.
And finally tonight, the White House making a fun AI video of Trump with the soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo after the legend came to the White House for a state dinner this week. Ronaldo posting on his own Instagram these pictures. Look how happy he looks. 668 million followers, probably the 2 most famous men in the world right there. Ronaldo cheesing in every single photo and video. The president posting, he's a great guy. Love meeting him at the White House. Really smart and really cool. Pretty fun stuff at the White House. Ronaldo is a Trump fan. Who knew?